Oh, we. Here comes in.
Good morning.
You can get on time here when you can.
Huh?
You can get on time here when you can.
What time is it? All right, bring it over, brother. Huh? We're live. Oh, yeah. I don't know what's going on. All right, Brandon, I'm bringing October 14th meeting of the zoning appeals board to order. First on the agenda here, we have the approval of the minutes. Can I get approval of the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We got a second. All those in favor? So, approval of the minutes is passed. Next item is application number ZV 4837, RC3 Innovations, request for a reduction to the off-street parking requirements in the Planned Development District ZM2263 for a medical office use. The .95 acre property is zoned Planned Development District ZM2263 and located at 1015 Arthur J. Moore Drive, St. Simons Island, parcel ID 04-12015. So I guess we'll hear from staff on this. Where are they?
Yes, sir. Maurice Postal with Planning and Zoning here. The applicant is currently seeking site plan approval from the IPC for a site with a total of 13,100 square feet of medical office space. The site currently has 10,000 square feet of medical office. The applicant is requesting a parking variance from the BOA to allow for a total of 30 spaces period on the parcel. If approved, this ratio would be 1 space per 436 square feet of total floor area. The requirement from the PD text is 1 space for every 200 square feet of total floor area. And the county's parking requirement for medical offices is even more strict at 1 space for every 100 square feet of total medical floor area. And under the PD text parking requirement, the site has a 10,000 square foot building and should have 50 spaces, but it only has 28 existing spaces. And just a comparison, under the variance that the applicant's asking for, they would only have 30 total spaces, whereas under the PD text, they would be required to have 66 spaces. And under the county's even more strict requirements, they'd be required to have 131 spaces for 13,000 square feet of medical office. And this is just a comparison of parking requirements for other land uses in the county. Retail stores only need to have 1 space for every 200 square feet of retail floor area. They can exclude restrooms, kitchens, storage space, which medical offices can't under the zoning ordinance. And auto dealerships are 1 space for every 500 square feet of indoor floor area. Restaurants need to have 1 space for every square feet of patron space, which means they can also exclude room for the kitchen, storage, restrooms, etc. And industrial facilities have 1 space for each 2 employees on the largest shift. And this is the hardship as stated in the application. The applicant stated, since the current building and proposed addition will require site plan approval, the parking calculations do not meet the zoning ordinance. The current zoning requirements state there must be 1 space for every 200 square feet of floor space. The existing building is 10,000 square feet, which requires 50 spaces. There are only 28 spaces existing. And on the property in the proposed site plan is to renovate the existing building and add an additional building for a total of 13,100 square feet. The reconfigured parking lot will have a total of 30 spaces. The proposed use would be for sales and marketing locations and 2 outpatient surgery centers. The proposed use would reduce the number of parking spaces needed. And this is the site plan. You can see the existing building on the east side of the site, the existing 10,000 square foot building, and it will have an additional 1,500 square feet, and then the proposed 1,600 square foot new building on the northeast side of the site. And we received 1 public comment from the Villas at Frederica Homeowners Association, and the comment really didn't address this specific parking requirement. It was more that they don't want a new building on the northeast side of the site and believe that it would be better at the south side of the site. And these are your possible motions. And as with any design choice, the county is recommending denial. However, the Board of Appeals may want to discuss a different parking ratio that could be appropriate for the site, given that the site already had the parking deficit when it was purchased by the current owner. And the applicant's representative, Brian Hunt, is here today.
Go ahead.
Is that it from staff?
Yes, sir, that's it from staff.
Do you have any questions?
Cliff Woodman, got a question, Larry. The medical requirements versus like the PD. And I guess from retail standpoint, retail is most likely going to have a lot more people than a medical office space would. So I guess I don't know why in this particular medical case they count bathrooms and storage areas, because if somebody leaves, somebody's not going to stop there just to go to the bathroom, where they may potentially do that in a retail space. I think it would be the other way, but if somebody's going to a bathroom or storage, they're going to be leaving an office space, so that's still one vehicle. I guess I don't understand.
Yes, sir. I can't speak to the original intent of why medical offices have the most strict parking requirement of any use in the county. I can't really speak to that. I don't completely understand it either, because yes, as you said, you would expect retail to have more of a flow of people into the office than a medical office.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
I have a question. Mike Minutelli, I appreciate the slide that's up there. The question I had is, I thought I read that section 611.7 allows for a 25% reduction, which would then bring 1 space for 250 square feet. Did I understand it accurately? And if I did, then why would that not have been put in here as like maybe an addendum to that slide that's up there now?
Yeah, no, that requirement is correct, but that requires swapping out spaces for green space. And as the applicant will tell you, there's no area to do that kind of swap here. That's why they're just asking for a straight 30 space variance.
No, I guess my question is the numbers that you have up there that we're working with.
Sure.
The PD text requirement, 1 space for 200 feet. That doesn't reflect 1 space for 250 square feet. So that, I don't know how many, I don't know, it reduces it down a few spaces. I'm just asking why that wasn't put in there so that we could have an accurate view according to all the ordinances.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Ms. Leaf worked on this case. I'm just a fill-in. She had to take someone to a medical appointment. I can't answer that.
Okay.
Anything else? I got one. Why was there a reduction in the required parking spaces to begin with?
I don't think there was an official reduction. I think somehow the property was allowed to be developed that way. As far as I can tell, there wasn't any kind of official approval of a reduction in parking spaces.
Okay, on the text here, it mentions something about residential. How much of the building is residential?
None. This PD permits residential on the second floor, but no, there's no residential here.
Is there any residential?
Strictly medical office.
Is there residential proposed?
No, they're just adding more medical office space. There's no residential proposed at all.
So the hardship is it seems to be the zoning. The zoning regulation is a hardship. Is that what I'm reading?
Yes, exactly. Basically, there'd be no space on the lot to comply with parking requirements from the PD Tech.
Okay, any more questions? What's that?
Where are the two proposed, there's 28 parking spaces there now. Where are the two new ones proposed?
Yeah, the applicant would be better suited to answer that. I can leave the site plan up here if you want to ask him that.
Under the,
Yeah, probably where number one is.
Can you guys see?
I'm thinking it's this one here. Is that,
I guess that one, could you see that, that's landscape,
Yeah, Brian, could you answer that?
or maybe not.
Yeah, certainly. So,
Who's Brian?
Sorry, this is Brian Hunt from Robert Civil Engineering. He's the applicant's agent.
Well, okay, well, why don't we go, instead of doing that, why don't we go ahead and, finish with the staff, go ahead and turn it over to him then?
Sure.
Okay, step up to the podium there, Brian, and give us your name and connection. And your whole little speaker.
He's right here.
I'm Brian Hunt with Robert Civil Engineering. So there's 30 spaces that are there. We're showing the 30. That's on the site plan.
Yeah, Brian, I believe their question is there are 28 currently on the site, and in your application, you said you're adding 2, so they're asking where these new 2 spaces are going to be.
I mean, that's it. We're showing all 30 on the site plan.
Number 7 is, if you look, you can see the gray lines where they are currently, where they're adding, that's one of them there.
okay. All right, yeah, we see it now.
Yeah, we see it now.
It's shadowed a little bit, but right here. See,
Yeah.
this is the new, this right here is the old.
That's what I wanted, that is right there.
Yes.
Yeah, it's actually right there in the middle.
Yeah.
That used to be green.
7.5 myself.
Yeah.
That's where it is.
What's the new total square footage you're talking about? 13,000? 13,100?
So yes, I do. I see that we have some of the lines showing the existing parking that was already on there. We also tried to show just a reconfiguration of the parking. Just as Maurice had stated, if they were just going to do a minor addition on this building, then they already couldn't meet zoning requirements due to parking. This office was formerly Dr. Bowen's, which throughout my understanding and talking with people, that parking was never an issue to begin with. What the current owner intends on doing is they're going to have 2 surgery day centers, day surgery centers that's going to be operated by one doctor, which means that at the most he could have 2 patients, one doctor, and this is at any, if they operated every day, it would be a doctor, a nurse, and 2 patients at the most. But they only intend on operating a couple of days a week for the surgery center. The majority of the building is for the new tenant, which he's developed a medical device that is, he's going to use, which is manufactured in Philadelphia through another company. And he's going to use this as his sales and marketing location. So majority of this building is just going to be some office space for a small team to be able to sell and market the item that he's invented. They are spending quite a lot of money to renovate this building and turn it into something that's going to be really nice. The current layout has, and they're still tweaking on some of this layout, but I think this is probably going to be the final design, has 7 offices in it. Conference room, a exercise room, bathroom, shower, tons of storage, and a display room. So if we worked on just off the office space alone, if we treated this like we do retail, the total office space is 1,600 square foot, and the total conference room area is 800 square foot. So we're talking, based on that numbers, it would be very minimal parking. But to say to add 60 parking spaces to meet a zoning ordinance that I believe may not be adequate for this development would mean that the entire property would have to be parking lot, with not a single tree on it. And we would still then not be able to meet the ordinance. But even at the end of the day, if we did all of that, they're still gonna need 15 parking spaces and that's it, max, ever.
It's gonna be occupied now.
Yeah.
If the occupation of the building changes, that may change.
I'm sorry, what was that?
If the occupation of the building changes, the parking requirement may change.
Correct.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, if they sold this to a, I don't know, I'm trying to think of something that wouldn't require it to go through rezone. So they sold this to a quick care that was doing, very high volume, traffic, then agree. The parking count may change. However, this gentleman is investing quite a lot of money into this project that their intent is to be here for a very long time.
Okay, any more questions for, the applicant?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Is there anybody, for or against in the audience over there? I can't really tell. There's one.
Okay, Chairman Barry, there appears to be one gentleman that wants to
Okay,
speak.
first step to the podium and give us your name and your relationship to the project.
My name is Eugene Rackley. I live at 1100 Arthur J. Moore Drive. We are in the condo at that corner, and on the projection as the site with the extra building, it shows that the back of their new building will be at the corner of Hamilton and Arthur J. Moore Drive. It will be literally back facing that road. I think everyone here knows how important Gascon Bluff Park is. We support that through our group. We have 12 units in our apartment. Many of the units face Hamilton Drive, and they would be looking at the back of the new building proposed. The rear, not the front, the rear. And what we're asking you to consider is not to say that they can't utilize more space, it's where they have the proposed building. You're going to be, all the people that come in there to many things, many functions, are going to be looking at the back of a new building before they turn left to go into Gascon Park.
Well, I think your complaint needs to be addressed to the IPC because that's not really our purview here. Just discuss the only thing we're talking about is parking. We're not discussing where the locations of the buildings are. All we're here to do is grant them the variance to reduce the parking requirement.
Well, we have an opportunity.
We have nothing to say about the location of the building.
All right, where will we be able to address that?
I believe.
Yes, it's Maurice Postal with the county. The Island Planning Commission meeting where the site plan is going to be heard is the November 16th meeting.
Okay.
And I believe for that meeting, you would show up to room 108 at the casino to provide public comment.
Very good. Thank you.
Yes, and thank you for coming.
That's a lot better to be there. So nobody else there for or against this application? Maurice?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay. All right, well, no public comments, any discussion from y'all?
I don't have anything.
What do y'all think? It seems like to me, only,
I mean, honestly, I don't have a problem. It's been operating this way for years and it hasn't been a problem. Personally, I don't see an issue with it if it remains in the same medical context that it is.
but they're in, because they're square footage.
Well, and what is the 1,600 square foot proposed building? Is that storage, office spaces, or conference rooms?
That's supposed to be the, office spaces for the convention.
I can answer that question, Commissioners. But this is Brian Hill with Robert Civil Engineering again. So that is, all of the office spaces are going to be contained within the original, the Dr. Bowen's building as after the remodel. That building is going to be used for, as part of their to display to show how the production process works for this product that he's invented. It's just so it's essentially just for display to show them how this operation works. But again, it's the operation itself is all of it's done in Philadelphia. This is this gentleman's home. He's loves this area, and he wants to use this as his base just to market what he has invented.
So it's marketing.
It is marketing, yes, sir. It is marketing.
I have one question.
Yes, sir.
You said basically one doctor and one nurse, which seems pretty small for a 13,000 square foot building. How many employees are they going to have for everything under that roof, and or what is the projected showcase for the people coming in to view this product being made and or used?
Certainly. So Maurice, could you pull up the site plan again?
Yeah, I'll do that, Brian.
Thank you, sir. So on the, if we're, and I'm trying to, on the existing building, on the left side, you have a portion that sticks out from the rest of the building. That it's right there next to the SS line. Can you see that on the site plan? So it's essentially I can tell you the dimension. It's like 30-foot addition that's came on. It would be right. So the parking on the very far south side, there's a striped parking. If you go just above that, you'll see where the start of that building is. That's a new addition because that building stopped at that sidewalk, and essentially they've extended that out. That building going that section going all the way to the back of the building is the surgery center. That's where they'll have 2 operating rooms for day surgery. The remainder of that building is exercise room, 7 offices. Upstairs is going to be a gigantic conference room and a product display room, as well as a wet bar and a big balcony so they can go out and look at the beautiful river right there. And so if for a surgery center, which I've been told they were only going to use about 2 days a week. So if we had a doctor, a nurse, 2 nurses, a receptionist, and a patient, that would be 5. And say they had 2 patients, that would be 6. And then we add the 13 offices, the 7 offices, that's 13 spaces. And I have a hard time getting to it. So the numbers, I have a hard time getting to 30, but we're going to provide as much parking as we can. And if say if, for example, there was a gigantic event that they were going to hold a huge conference and they're going to bring people in from all over the country, there is plenty of parking at the hospital behind it. There's plenty of parking in Gascoigne Park. People park there all the time for all kinds of events that go on. As a matter of fact, I was just there a few weekends ago for a fishing tournament, and there were people that were parked adequately through there. So it's the day-to-day operations are going to have minimal people there. And unlike a medical office, it's going to be a pretty fixed number for the number of people for, I mean, you got 7 offices. It's all they're planning for. Yeah, I have a hard time coming up with the parking count on it. I mean, to try and meet why 65 would be, or 60 would be the number based on zoning. Just the actual use of the building is going to be minimal. And to speak as to what the gentleman had said before, we agree with him. This area is very pretty and very nice, and we want to maintain that. On our current site plan, we are showing a buffer that's on there that will block some of that building. However, if we had to meet a parking count, I mean, we could cut all that down. There's trees all along Arthur J. Moore and on the 2 gigantic oaks down there on the bottom portion. If we turned it into a sea of asphalt and made a ton of parking spaces to meet the parking count, I think that would be a worse tragedy than trying to just make this develop, fit the parking around what the actual use is going to be.
So in answer to Richard's question, it sounds like to me there's gonna be 5 people there plus patients, 4 people?
So probably on the doctor's side, there would probably be 4 or 5 people, yeah. And on the other side, which is gonna be the sales and marketing for the business. So he's gonna lease the surgery center to the doctor for him to be able to do his outpatient surgery. So essentially you could say there's 2 separate businesses. One is the medical office, which is going to encompass that, the way you're looking at it, that bottom section of the building where it sticks out, it's going to be that all the way across the building. That's the surgery center. Everything above that is going to be the sales and marketing, as well as the second floor for this building.
Okay, I got you. All right, thanks.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
I have a question for Maurice.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
What is the requirement for the parking requirement for just office space?
For office space, I believe it's the same as the PD text. It's one space for every 200 square feet of floor area, which itself is.
Maurice, I'm sorry. So, and Maurice is right. There's 1 space for every 200 square feet of floor area. So the difference between the medical PD and the office PD is that it states floor area as opposed to total floor area. So in office space, I think when we calculate floor area, we're calculating offices, a conference room, or a waiting room area. We don't calculate bathrooms and closets and storage and a balcony or things of that nature. So how I've always interpreted it is the total floor area means that whole building footprint, every square foot that's in there and every story of it. But the floor area is area that's for the office use, and that's typically offices, reception, and a conference area.
Yeah, that's right. The parking requirement for medical office use in the zoning ordinance says total floor area, which means, yeah, like I've said before, you can't exclude bathrooms, storage, that kind of thing.
Okay.
And in this case, if we calculated floor area, it is 1,600 square feet of offices, and I think the conference room is like 800 square feet. And I'll do a quick calculation on that.
400, that's 12 spaces.
Yeah, so I came up with 12.
One comment, I don't really have a problem, but at the same time, like a trailer, I'm just putting this, It's not what you got on that trailer, but it's what the trailer has the capacity of. Therefore, it's not what you're doing with this building, but it's what it's got the capacity of in a future use is,
Well, that's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
They have a surgery center that only requires 4 people, that's just this option.
it works for that, yeah, but if they turn that into,
If they sell the next guy, he wants to pack in,
Then
like you
it's,
said, put like a quick fix medical, doc in a box kind of thing.
then it's gonna have to come back before IPC, I would think, and maybe us again.
It's too late,
No,
because if we stuck with the parking they got,
well, they will, but
so we don't give a free doc in the box. Well, I guess they can put one there. I don't know this. My only problem is the hardship being the ordinance. I just, I don't know about that. But anyway, ready to entertain a motion if anybody got one.
I make a motion that we approve, ZB 4837 as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those against?
you still got it.
Looks like you got your variance.
Chairman
Thank you,
Barry, was
gentlemen.
there one no vote?
Two.
There are 2.
Oh, 2 no votes, and could you state who those were?
AJ Berry and Richard H.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, commissioners. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. There's no other business, I guess I'll adjourn.
Chairman Barry, I did have one announcement.
Oh, sure.
Sorry,
Adjourn.
yeah, sorry, Ms. Leaf asked me to tell you that the appeal for the 155 North Cottages got deferred to the October 21st Board of Commissioners meeting, and she'd appreciate if at least one BOA member could be in attendance. It's going to be a virtual meeting again, so you'd have to come to the public comment room, or you could be given a Microsoft Teams link.
Hey, can we discuss this for a minute?
Sure.
Hold on.
Do we need to open the meeting back up? You adjourned us.
Well, I canceled the adjournment.
Okay, so we don't get into trouble.
So, Maurice, my question is, and I was not at that meeting, but I'm very familiar with what all went on.
Right.
When this guy appealed and went to the Board of Commissioners, why didn't the Board of Commissioners get everything that was presented to us as our board, and as well as all of our discussion about it? I mean, it's like the commissioners only had one viewpoint of the whole thing, and they didn't know any of what we had discovered about this project. So, I mean, that's number one. It's not fair to us that we kind of knew everything, and we felt like the commissioners needed to know everything. And I'm just asking, why wasn't all of the information forwarded to the commissioners?
I mean, from my point of view, I did forward everything to them, including the minutes. It seemed like from their perspective, the minutes didn't include enough information for what they needed to know.
Okay. Well, in that respect, is it okay for us to talk to the commissioners about everything that we knew about the
Oh,
case?
yeah. No, I mean, that's always all right. You could do that at any time, of course. You're welcome to do that.
We just can't do it as a board. We have to do it individually.
Right. You can't do it as with, a quorum.
So we could, 2 of us could go and talk to them, but not 3.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. All right, because, I mean, to me, if the Board of Commissioners doesn't know everything that we know about that case, they're gonna overturn us. And we don't feel that that's fair to us.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. And I think Ms. Leaf sent you all an email to try to develop a more robust set of minutes to send to them before the next meeting. And I believe we got comments from one BOA member.
Yes,
Yeah.
we did. or Mr. Woodman?
Right.
Okay. I mean, the only reason I didn't comment, because I was not there, so I didn't feel like I had, dog in the fight. But,
Right, yeah, that's correct.
I just want to make sure that the commission knows everything that we know, so they can make a uniform decision.
Yeah, absolutely. Each one of you are free to talk to them individually or two at a time. Yes, you're more than welcome to do that.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. All right,
I have no further notices, Chairman Barry.
okay. All right, so we can adjourn now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, I'm adjourning.